You'll never guess what we have on our agenda today for Will My Fave Make roster. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Justice, giving you all my verdicts and views about women's basketball. And today I will be taking you through your Atlanta dream and we'll be answering the question of Will My Fave Make roster. Now, for the Atlanta Dream, guys, honestly, scary hours. It's scary hours over there in Atlanta. And the crazy thing is, they didn't do anything super crazy except one tweet. If you ask people before it happened, what do they think about the Atlanta Dream and where they're going to land versus after it happened, the answers are going to be completely different. And that is adding Angel Reese. Now, last season, the Atlanta Dream honestly exceeded all expectations. They added in Carl Smesko, and that was the game changer for the organization. The thing about Atlanta is that all the pieces are there. Great foundation. You know, Ryan, Alicia, Bree, they had BG at that time too. Saw some great strides from Nas Hillman. Like great foundation. It just kind of felt like they were just missing something. By adding in Angel Reese this season, yeah, yeah. The rest of hey, we're cooking with oil now. So first, let's look at our protected contracts. Like I said, the Atlanta Dream is returning a lot of players from last year, basically all their foundation. So Alicia's coming back, Ryan's coming back, Bree Jones, Nas Hillman, and Jordan Canada. Now, I'm also going to throw in a couple players that aren't on veteran protected contracts, but we already know will be on that final roster. And that is going to be Tahina Pow Pow and Angel Reese. So right now I'm sitting at 7, 5 protected contracts, 2 rookie scale contracts, and 7 players total that I know without a shadow of a doubt will be on final roster when everything is said and done. So they also have Taylor Theory and Isabel Borles coming to camp. Taylor made roster last year. She was a rookie. I didn't throw her in the guaranteed spot just because she played minimum minutes. And I think there are some people coming to camp that might give her a run for her money. And then Isabel Borles, they had the rights to her and they activated her. So I put her in this kind of different category because they didn't put her on a training camp contract. And so I think that's somebody that they are prioritizing making final roster. Then we're going to jump to draft night. Now, draft night, the Atlanta Dream had 3 picks. With the number 13 pick, they selected Medina Okot from South Carolina. And then the second round with the 28th pick, they selected India from North Carolina. And then the third round with the 43rd pick, they selected Keisha Ron, which I think is just going to end up being a drafting stash because she's 19. So who has Atlanta extended training camp contracts to? Stephanie Jones, who looks exactly like her sister Bree Jones, who's also on roster. Sika Cone will be there. Fort Leroy, who was undrafted. Holly Winterburn. Layla Fila was also undrafted, and she's coming to training camp. Paige Robinson, Sasha Washington, Mati Kozorla. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Let's talk about it, guys. Will my fave make roster? Now, this list, as I went over and I watched filmed and I evaluated, I'm like, these are some good prospects. When I look at the pieces that Atlanta has, I can definitely tell that Carl is going for a specific style. When we look at who we have coming to camp, of course, we already know we have 7 players, no brainer. Remember, Ryan, Alicia, Bree, Jordan, Angel, Tahina, and Nas. Now, I'm also going to throw Borlas and Medina into that conversation as well. Medina's 6'6". I don't think that they're wasting a developmental spot on her. Now, Borlas is coming from playing overseas in Australia. She just won MVP. She was averaging 22.9. I think that she will be in make active roster. So that is then going to bring our number to 9. Will my fave make roster? Okay, 3 spots up for grabs and then also 2 developmental spots. So let's take care of the roster as is. When I look at their current roster, who's going to camp, who's on training camp, yes, there's a lot of confirmed pieces, but there also, I think, is a lot of opportunity. If I was looking at a camp to get invited to just based upon like, dang, what is the odds that I can make roster? I would want to go to Atlanta because there are multiple spots available that I think somebody could come in and take. There's no seasoned vets. There's nobody who's been in the league this amount of years. Everybody is kind of fresh in terms of experience. And I think that is what makes this training camp really appealing for somebody who's trying to get their opportunity. And but when I broke it down based upon positioning from point guard, shooting guard, post player, I'm kind of trying to evaluate like what else do they need? One thing that stood out to me in looking at their roster is the height. The tallest person obviously is going to be Okot, so I can see them wanting to get a center. And then I also think a backup PG might be a priority as well based upon who is coming to camp. Just because right now, starting point guard obviously is going to be Jordan Canada. Tahina Pow Pow is going to be the backup, and I just think that they're probably going to put and want to put one more person on roster to fill that spot as the third point guard. So I guess outside looking in for our post players, definitely will probably be Sika and Taylor. I think they have the edge right now, but in the front yard is Stephanie. I would not sleep on Stephanie. I would not sleep on having, ears to the ground on what I need to do. The experience also works in her favor. And then for the forwards, specifically, who has an uphill battle, it's definitely probably going to be Bella. And also Sasha Washington, I think, has an uphill battle. It's always toughest for the rookies and the undrafted kids to make final roster. As for the guards, outside looking in, India, definitely outside looking in is going to be India, just because, like I said, she'll either end up on roster or in the developmental spot. I would say both the PGs because I just don't know which one they're gonna pick. I'm not as familiar with their game. They're both international, so curious to see what that training camp looks like because, hey, Atlanta might just say neither and just go with Jordan and Tahina and then keep it pushing. So I'll definitely put both of those in the front yard. And then Paige Robinson, I think, has an uphill battle. Undrafted, she's been overseas. She's about 5'10". She's an off guard. Just looking at who's coming to camp and things of that nature, just might be a little bit more challenging to get your foot in the door. And as for the developmental spot, honestly, the 3 kids that stick out the most to me for those spots, either India, Layla, and Bella. Again, I don't know what the Atlanta Dream are gonna do in terms of if they're gonna put India on the roster because it's not absurd. Like, they had 2 rookies last year with Taylor and Pow Pow, so them having 2 rookies on roster isn't crazy. I just don't know what their number of games are gonna be. I can give you 9 players, but those last 3 spots, I think it's really gonna go down to fit. So will my fave make roster? Yeah, I'm maybe I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, I know there's a couple people who have a leg up over some, but when it comes down to it, I think those last 3 spots, I'm interested to see the direction they take. Pay attention to the Atlanta Dream. They are going to be good regardless of what they do with those last 3 spots. I think they're gonna be really fun this upcoming season. I'm locked in. And I do want to announce that they did announce to their, they haven't released a press release yet, but they do plan to have a facility open in 2028. So shout out to Atlanta Dream, the moves they've made, tremendous. You can tell the organization's moving in the right direction. Acquiring Angel and just the excitement. People are excited about Atlanta basketball as they should be. This is going to be a scary roster.